Hey, it says you put a pair on. I like it. Hey, you should really get sunglasses like this, you know? Hey, it's Chris here today from Huckabones Equipment. Today's video, we're going to do an overview of the brand new KX040-5. So we're going to do what we always do and start at the front, work our way back, pointing out all the key features and the new updates to it. So stick with us. So whenever you start talking about Kubotas and their excavator lineups, they are the #1 seller of mini excavators in the world. What's their most popular unit? It is the KX040. So whenever they come around to a redesign of it, it is a big deal, not only to the dealership, it is a big deal to the consumers as well. The 040 was out on the market for roughly 12 years without any changes. So you know they hit it out of the park with that, so they better have a good follow-up to it. Whenever you get into the KX040, you know, like it is the only one in the Kubota lineup that has a 6-way blade. Some of the other things you want to know whenever you're kind of towing this around is, in Ontario at least, you're going to be above what you're going to be carrying with a G license. So you're going to be needing your A license, your D license, or a restricted license to be moving this around. And again, with that, you're going to be looking at a 3/4 ton truck with a 7-ton float to get it up, because this is spec'd out at roughly 4 tons. That's what, whenever you get into it, so you have either a U or a KX in the lineup. So KX is your standard, it has a tail swing to it, unlike the U's, which is minimal tail swing. After that, you get into the 040 is standing for a 4-ton machine. So you're roughly 8,800 pounds. There's different ways to set that up, whether it's open station, cab, angle blades, buckets, thumbs. So, but a good average weight of these is about 8,800 pounds. So whenever you start towing those around, pretty important to have the proper license on it. Jumping back to the 040 in that lineup, you can get them either open station, cabbed, straight blade, angle blade, or in this particular case you have the 6-in-1, the 6-way blade. So there is a lot to talk about in this, so let's start what we always do out front here, talking about the bucket selection and the thumb. The standard bucket that Kubota is going to recommend is a 24-inch, and then with a 36-inch ditching bucket. In between there is a gazillion different buckets. You know, you're starting at a 14-inch and going up to a 42, depending on exactly what you're looking for, with frost strippers and root rakes. Dozen different choices of buckets and attachments just straight through Kubota. In Canada as well, not only do we have the wedge style here from H&H, we also have the Kotex style, the premium quick attach as well. So you got to be very careful when we start talking about quick attaches. There's going to be a variety of them in North America. So like I said, in Canada, there's 2 selections right from Kubota Canada to pick from, and then after that, there's a lot of aftermarket. And then in, I would imagine in the States, it follows along the same lines, depending regionally what you're going to be looking at. But standard bucket is a 24-inch digging bucket with a 36-inch ditch. Always recommend them with a thumb. Again, you'll see a variety of different thumbs out there. Always try and match them up with the same company that's making the bucket, so that they mesh together, that you can completely close them and not run into any issues grabbing things. Used to be, you'd have to have a diverter valve or something here if you wanted to get a breaker without having to completely switch things over. So now you can order it right from factory, realistically, is either a single auxiliary or dual auxiliary. Whenever you get a 6-way blade, it does come automatically with dual auxiliary at the front there, but it is very handy to have that, especially whenever, you know, like 50% of the customers are just digging with it, and then the other 50% are not only digging with it, but have other attachments, whether it be a breaker, mulch heads and stuff that need to go on the front. So it is very handy now that it does come from factory like that, to really emphasize, make it easier to do your adjustments from inside the cab and stuff, to make it your unit. So it's nice that way. One important thing to know out of these auxiliaries now is your hydraulic flow is up 20%. Gallons per minute, you're going to be roughly 17 out the auxiliaries. The full capacity is about 29 gallons a minute. One thing you're not going to hear in this video is a whole lot of statistics thrown at you. Nothing's really changed a whole lot in the digging depths and stuff like that. Your brochure is going to have that in it, and just go over all that with you at your local Kubota dealership on that end. But really important to know, hydraulic flow is up 20%. Really makes a huge difference whenever you're doing some other attachments with it. So, okay, so we moved a little bit over here. Is one thing to talk about on the swing here. Some pretty neat things going on, and it is standard equipment with Kubota, but it is neat whenever I took a step back, is you can see we're pointed this direction and we've kind of swung it, and we're digging pretty much in front of this blade. I can curl this in and be right at that corner. It's really awesome whenever you're in tight spaces. As I was just pointing out to Kyle too, is you get over to the ones made in Asia, you know, Japanese ones, they'll have another brake right about here that lets you swing again towards digging in front of that blade. We were making the joke, we don't know if Kubota just kind of thinks that North America can't handle that. I know my brain can't be doing 4 things at once, but that's pretty cool whenever you can dig like right in front of your blades facing the other direction. Again, designed for tight spaces, not really what you're going to see in North America with a building there and a building there, and you got to dig it out. So, but very cool that in the world those are made. Here in North America, you will just see the standard brake here to let you swing around to the side to dig. Whenever we move down a little bit further here to the tracks, the standard ones you're going to see is rubber. That's probably about 95% of the market in the 040 size, but you can order steel tracks right from factory. It's not an issue that way, and some requirements there. If you've got some sharp jagged rocks, you're out in the bush a lot, that's where you're going to see a lot of the steel tracks. But at this size, even up to the 080 size, not a whole lot of steel tracks, mostly rubber. Okay, so now we moved around to the side and the back here. We've opened a few panels. Whenever you dive into it, there hasn't been a whole lot of changes spec-wise. It's the exact same engine as what you're going to see on the 040-4. But what has changed is the layout. And you're like, well, what am I going to see whenever I get this new excavator, and whenever I pop open the panels, what's going to be different? With that layout, there's been a vast improvement on the serviceability of it. So it's very Japanese in there. You know, they've thought things through, where things need to be, how easy is it going to be to service, what could possibly go wrong, and you know, and how would somebody fix that? Whenever you get into it, all the key features are still there. It's nice and easy to hook up an air hose kind of and blow things out. You can see your filters, whether it be the fuel filter, fuel separator I should say, air filter. Everything's nicely tucked away, but you have more room, because with the bigger cab and everything and the more boxy look to it, they were able to deal with that. And then with more room, with those engineers, they thought, how are we going to use that more room? And they thought it through and thought, you know, serviceability is a big thing on these things. Let's make it easy on the operator. And that's what they did. That's what you're going to notice whenever it comes down to it. All the key things are right where you want them and easy to get at. So we moved around to the front here. The thing to see here, and it's big, it's loud, it's right there, is your blade choice. So you're either going to have a straight blade, angle blade, or in this case, as you'll see here in the display, is a 6-way blade. So the only one in the Kubota lineup with the 6-way blade, I get asked all the time, why do they not have them on other units? I have zero idea. I love 6-way blades, but there may not be a huge market for them. You know, like 1 in 20, 1 in 30 of these will actually be a 6-way. There's a lot of straight and angles, a lot of straights. Where I kind of price it out and kind of recommend it for people is if you're a single operator and looking to do 2 or 3 jobs with just one machine, this is the machine that will do it for you with that blade. Again, if you're looking to crown stuff, you know, it's not a bulldozer, but you can start acting like it with this size of machine and with this blade out front. It just gives you more options, and that's what you're looking for. Some things you should know about this blade is whenever you go angle and then tilt, is it does actually pop it out a little bit. It does make it a little bit further out away from the machine. Pros and cons to that: whenever you're in tight spaces, not so great, but at the end of the day, some guys really like it. Whenever it pops out, it makes it more stable, makes it a little bit better that way. Also, it's cost-wise. It does jump up the cost whenever you go angle, and then again, it's about twice as much again whenever you go tilt. So just in blade pricing that way. But and then there is more wear parts. Whenever there's things moving and tilting, in this case, there is the probability that something in the future or over thousands of hours will eventually break down and the cost to operate it. But for that single operator or anything like that, the 6-way is a great way to go. So let's jump and talk about what's new in that cab. This is a vast improvement again. This is what guys have been screaming for in North America, is a bigger cab. Again, if you were to hop in your John Deeres, well, some models of John Deeres and a lot of the Cats, they had a bigger cab, and it really suited the North American market. I'm roughly 6 feet tall, you know, in around that 180 pounds, and I'm more than comfortable. Again, you get up into that 6'4" kind of idea, 250, that's where you're going to start filling up this cab. That's just the nature of it. For the average person, average size, you're going to feel more than comfortable in it. And before, it was a little bit more cramped. Whenever they got a little bit more boxy here, a little bit bigger cab, they've utilized the space and made it comfortable for everybody. With that kind of updating and stuff, the big thing they've updated is this screen here. So whether it be an open station KX040 or a cab unit, you're going to see that same screen. It is not touchscreen. Again, I would have me personally would have liked to prefer seeing it both touchscreen and with that toggle, but unfortunately it is just the toggle. Again, whenever you got mitts on and grimy hands and stuff, maybe it is for the best that it isn't touchscreen, but at the end of the day, it still functions and functions very well. With your layouts and stuff, it's virtually the same as what you're going to see in any other Kubota lineup, but with this screen here is that also incorporates your Bluetooth radio, so you can hook up your phone, listen to tunes, take a phone call through it. Won't be able to listen to your CDs anymore. Again, there is no radio to be put in here. So one neat feature too, and again, same as the other Dash 5s out there, is your rear view camera. So it doesn't come standard equipment, highly recommended for anybody out there. Beautiful option to get. It just mounts on the back, and then as soon as you go start backing up here, it kicks on the screen and lights up there and shows you what's behind you. Whether it be for safety or just not rubbing the back. Whenever you're around one of these and you see the new backs to them, there isn't a whole lot of space there between your hood component coming down and that back rear weight. Before there used to be a couple inches, now it's pretty much flush. So you want to be careful protecting all that stuff that is worth a lot of money back there. So it's great. Should always just include it there in your purchase is a rear view camera on that. So a little bit further back here, they've kind of made your dials and toggles a little bit bigger, easier to grab and touch and feel, whether it's your air conditioning or your auto throttle and stuff. Everything's here and nicely laid out, and big, easy to reach buttons, which you'll want to see. One thing you won't see anymore too is a key. So, whenever you start talking about theft in the construction lineup, for dozens of years, it only took about a dozen keys to start pretty much the whole construction lineup out there, whether it be John Deere, your Volvos, your Cats, your pretty much anybody out there. It only took a few keys to start the whole lineup. So you've seen that industry kind of move and update as the years go by. Kubota is now incorporated into it. It's now moved to a keyless start. So no key, I can't take this out. It's nice that we now have a keyless start system here. It's dealing with this and then the touch buttons down here to make it operational there and start for you. And then whenever you get into the actual operation of it, it is nice now. Not even now, it's been the same way, is that you have your pilot controls aren't electronic. Again, it's still hydraulic there. It's nice whenever you have less switches and stuff there, so it's always nice whenever you start using your hydraulics to move things, that it is hydraulics, not electric. So with that conversation of anti-theft and everything, it's nice that one thing that comes with the 040s and a lot of the excavators now is standard equipment is telematics. So with that app, you're able to it's going to update to your phone what's happening with this unit, whether it be, throws a code there on it telling you that. If you have multiple operators, what's going on with each one. It's going to update you, even anti-theft wise, what can happen. You can make it so that the unit won't restart after it's finally restarts. So you can geofence it, all these things, you get up to date where it is. Another nice thing too is over the years, Kubota has always said, telematics is free for the first 3 years. Well, that's about 5 years ago now, and they still haven't figured out a way to start charging people. So, kind of cross your fingers there, and you might get more than 3 years again out of these things before Kubota kind of figures out if they need to charge the operator or not on that. Some of the other things about this cab, it's nice that they still have a sliding window, is outside of here you'll see a couple of nice LED lights. In the Canadian market, it looks like they've robbed it from the Nordic edition, as they're called Nordic lights out there. But yeah, it's nice. We kind of angle them away so that it lights up all in front of you, as well as the LED light on the boom itself. So it makes it nice and bright, whether it be overnight kind of idea, whenever you're digging into the night, that you can see what you're doing. So let's dive into it now and talk about this screen a little bit more. So whenever we dive into the screen here, it's going to tell you a lot more than the old ones did with the LCD screen. So there's a lot of information going on there and a lot more access to information. There isn't screen upon screen, it doesn't pile up on you, but there is a few functions that you should be able to recognize right away. So whenever you get into it, you have your periodic checks there, you can go into it. It's just a simple click there, and then you're in to see when you should be going through your oil changes and checking things, and you just kind of scroll down as needed as you want. And you can see it tells you everything that you need, and even then whenever it comes in for service, it's very easy for us to check it off. As we go back to the main screen here, again, your next one over is your log record. It's nice whenever you're billing out hours, being able to go in, see exactly when things fired up, when they got here, how long somebody actually ran the machine. Next one's your messages. Whenever you go in, you'll see that there's nothing, as it tells you, it's running normally, so nothing much to tell you on that. One nice one here is your auxiliary settings. As you can see, you have some presets in there, but as well as you're able to go deeper into them and really adjust as needed, depending on what you're looking for, whether it's auxiliary 1 through 5, and do some presets in there, depending on what attachments you have and how much hydraulic flow you want to see. And again, you could make these adjustments before. It was very difficult to get into and to adjust them. See, as you can see, I'm not going to fiddle around too much, but I can dial them up or dial them forward or back, depending on what those auxiliaries need as we go through. So right back to the main screen now. And then we get into various settings kind of idea. It's not overly exciting in here. Just kind of, you know, nothing too exciting, but you can see there's lots of things that you can dive into to really make it your settings kind of like you would on a vehicle. And then last but not least, we get into the radio. Not a whole lot of adjustments there, but you can you know, turn up your volume, change your channels, whatever you want to see, and have a few presets in there as well to really have that radio your own and have it hopping in here whenever you need it. So lots of things that way, and then just it's nice to have. So okay, so that brings to the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed learning a lot about that KX040-5. There's a lot to know. I even forgot to mention in the whole thing that that cab is super quiet, let alone the machine being quiet. That cab, the decibel ratings have, you know, been lowered again quite a bit, so you're going to be comfortable in there all day while you're listening to your tunes. So again, there's a lot of key things to learn about it, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of background knowledge whenever you go to your local Kubota dealership and you're thinking about a purchase. So if you enjoyed today's video, please like, subscribe, and if you have any comments, please down below. Thank you.